As Gautama Buddha once said, "Let go over a cliff, die completely, and then come back to life. After that, you cannot be deceived." This profound statement captures the essence of non-attachment, a cornerstone of Buddhist philosophy and a vital key to finding true happiness. Forcing outcomes, clinging to desires, and wrestling with life's unpredictability are struggles we all face. But what does it mean to force something? It's an act of resistance against the natural flow of existence, a refusal to accept reality as it unfolds. Often, this leads to frustration, disappointment, and emotional exhaustion. Yet, there is another way, a path illuminated by the wisdom of non-attachment. Non-attachment doesn't mean indifference or giving up. It's about releasing the grip on what we think life should be so we can embrace life as it is. In this video, we will explore why forcing is counterproductive, the deep significance of non-attachment, and how to stop pushing against life to find the peace and happiness that already resides within you. Drawing from Buddhist teachings and practical wisdom, we'll answer pressing questions. What is forcing really? How does it affect our journey? And most importantly, how can we release the weight of our expectations? These answers provide clarity and direction, offering tools to transform not just how you approach challenges, but how you view the world. Stay tuned as we uncover how letting go, not giving up, can lead to a richer, more fulfilling life. The path to true happiness begins with surrendering the need to control. Let's take that first step together. Non-attachment. What if the key to peace wasn't in chasing or clinging, but in letting go? Non-attachment isn't about giving up on life. It's about giving up the obsession with outcomes that controls us. It means loosening the tight grip we have on things that are ultimately out of our control. Imagine living without the constant anxiety of what if? How much lighter would your heart feel? Buddhism holds a profound truth. Attachment is the root of suffering. Think about it. Every time we fixate on something, we create fear. Fear of losing it, fear of failure, fear of not being enough. This attachment breeds suffering because it ties our happiness to something external, something impermanent. But letting go doesn't mean apathy. It's not about giving up on your dreams or disconnecting from people. It's about trusting the process and recognizing that your worth isn't determined by the results. When you stop forcing, you begin to flow. Consider this. How often do minor setbacks derail your day? A disagreement at work, a late train, or someone not meeting your expectations? What if, in those moments, you could pause and say, "I release this, start small." Practice non-attachment in the little things. Let go of being right in a conversation. Smile instead of arguing over trivialities. Affirmations can help rewire your mindset. Repeat to yourself, "I do my best and release the rest." Feel the power in those words. It's a reminder that while you give your best effort, the outcome isn't yours to control, and that's okay. Take a moment to reflect on impermanence. Everything you're clinging to, your possessions, titles, even relationships, is fleeting. Meditate on this truth, not to feel despair, but to feel freedom. When you understand that nothing lasts forever, you stop resisting change. You begin to appreciate the beauty in every moment as it is. Freedom begins when you let go of what you cannot control. Letting go isn't an act of weakness. It's an act of courage, an act of trust. When you stop forcing, you create space. Space for joy, space for peace, and space to live fully in the present. If you're going to get anything out of this video, just get that. That's all you need to know in life. Action at the right moment. How often do we push and push, only to feel like we're running in place? Forcing action, especially when the timing isn't right, disrupts the harmony of life. It's like trying to plant a seed in the wrong season. No matter how much effort you pour into it, it won't grow. True progress happens when our actions align with the natural flow of events. In Zen Buddhism, there's a concept known as effortless action. It's not about doing nothing, but about waiting for the right moment when your efforts can create the greatest impact. Acting too soon or too late can lead to frustration, failure, and even regret. But when you act with mindfulness and patience, your energy aligns with the world around you, and what once felt impossible begins to fall into place. Think back to times in your life when patience served you better than haste. Perhaps you've rushed into decisions, whether in relationships, careers, or even small daily tasks, only to find the results didn't match your expectations. Compare that to the moments when you paused, reflected, and waited for the right opportunity. The difference is profound, isn't it? Pause before you act. Ask yourself, does this moment feel right? Listen to your intuition. It's your inner compass. When you honor that instinct, you allow yourself to flow with life rather than fight against it. Start keeping a journal. Reflect on the times when waiting paid off and learn to trust those moments of stillness. Sometimes, it feels counterintuitive to wait when everything in modern life pushes us to act immediately. But rushing can cost us more than we realize. A delayed decision is better than a rushed mistake. As the Buddhist teaching reminds us, the right action at the wrong time is still the wrong action. Action at the right moment isn't about luck, it's about awareness. The river doesn't need to be forced to flow. It moves naturally, with power and grace, carving its path through even the hardest rock. In the same way, your actions become unstoppable when you align with the rhythm of life. Patience isn't passive, it's powerful. It's the bridge between chaos and clarity, between forcing and flowing. Adapt to life's natural flow. Life is like a river, constantly moving, shifting, and changing its course. But how often do we find ourselves resisting its current? We cling to what we think should happen, battling against reality as if we can force the river to flow in our chosen direction. Yet, this resistance only creates tension, frustration, and suffering. Buddha offers a profound metaphor. Life is like water. Water flows naturally, adapting to whatever obstacles it encounters. A rock in its path doesn't stop it. It simply finds a way around, reshaping itself without losing its essence. This is the wisdom of adapting to life's natural flow. Resistance often comes from fear of change, fear of losing control, fear of failure. It's also rooted in ego, the part of us that stubbornly insists this isn't how it's supposed to be. But when we let go of resistance, something magical happens. Adaptation becomes our strength. Instead of wasting energy fighting what we cannot change, we find clarity and resilience in moving with life's rhythm. Remember this: the earth is a spaceship, and heaven is space. Start practicing mindfulness to recognize the moments when you're resisting. Maybe it's a difficult conversation, an unexpected setback, or even something as small as traffic. Pause and ask yourself, am I flowing with this situation or am I fighting it? Awareness is the first step to adaptation. Another practical tool is reflection. At the end of each day, write down a challenge you faced and think about how you could flow with it instead of resisting. Did you cling to expectations, or did you allow yourself to shift with the moment? This practice trains your mind to find harmony in situations that once felt like chaos. Use the mantra, I embrace what is. These words are a gentle reminder that peace isn't found in controlling life, but in embracing it as it unfolds. Harmony arises when you dance with the flow, not fight it. When you adapt to life's natural flow, you begin to see obstacles not as barriers, but as opportunities to grow and transform. The river of life isn't something to conquer. It's something to move with, to learn from, and to trust. And when you trust it, you'll find that the path ahead reveals itself in ways you never imagined. Middle way, a balanced life. Life often feels like a pendulum swinging between extremes. We overwork ourselves to exhaustion, then collapse into lethargy. We chase highs, only to crash into lows. But the truth is, neither extreme brings lasting peace. The secret lies in the middle, the balanced path where sustainable happiness and harmony reside. Buddha taught, the root of suffering is in extremes. The middle path is the way to peace. Think of a tightrope walker. To move forward, they must maintain balance. Leaning too far to one side will lead to a fall. Our lives are no different. Extremes, whether in thoughts, emotions, or actions, exhaust the mind and body. They create a cycle of instability that leaves us feeling drained and unfulfilled. Balance, on the other hand, isn't just about moderation. It's about mindfulness. It's understanding that joy doesn't come from excess, but from harmony. A balanced life allows you to move through challenges without being consumed by them and enjoy pleasures without becoming dependent on them. Start by identifying one area of your life where extremes have taken over. Maybe you're working long hours at the expense of your health, or spending too much time scrolling through distractions. Choose to moderate this habit. For example, if work consumes you, set boundaries. Dedicate time to rest, relationships, and self-care. Deep breathing is a simple but powerful tool to find balance in the moment. When your mind feels overwhelmed, pause and take a few slow, deliberate breaths. Inhale for a count of 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 4. This practice centers you, calming the storm of extremes in your thoughts. Meditation can also guide you toward balance. Visualize a calm lake, its surface smooth and undisturbed. Let this image remind you of what it feels like to live with equilibrium, where emotions and challenges ripple but don't overwhelm. Balance is not a destination, but a way of living. Every day, you have the opportunity to choose the middle way. It's not about perfection, but about presence. By avoiding extremes and embracing balance, you'll discover a life that feels lighter, steadier, and filled with genuine peace. Letting go of cultivated spontaneity. How often do we try to script our lives down to the smallest detail? Even our attempts to be spontaneous can feel planned, as if we're rehearsing how to let go. But forcing spontaneity only creates inner conflict, leaving us disconnected from the present moment. True authenticity can't be cultivated. It can only emerge naturally when we're fully present. Zen Buddhism teaches that real spontaneity doesn't come from effort, but from mindfulness. When you're mindful, your responses to life flow naturally, without the strain of overthinking or trying to impress. It's like water shaping itself effortlessly to fit the container it's in, fluid, adaptable, and true to its essence. Think about the times you've tried too hard to be fun or carefree. Did it feel authentic? Probably not. Forced spontaneity feels hollow because it's driven by the mind's desire to control how others perceive us. In contrast, when you're genuinely present, your actions arise from a place of truth, and people can sense that authenticity. One way to embrace natural spontaneity is by giving up the need to plan every moment. Leave space in your day for surprises. Instead of packing your schedule to the brim, allow room for the unexpected, a chance encounter, a spontaneous decision to take a walk, or an unscripted conversation. These are the moments where life's magic often lies. Observe your need to control spontaneity and don't be afraid to laugh at yourself. Humor dissolves the tension we create when we try too hard to be something we're not. It reminds us that life isn't a performance, it's an experience. Engage in activities that force you to let go of rigid plans, like painting without an outcome in mind, playing music just for fun, or participating in improv exercises. These activities reconnect you with the joy of creating in the moment, without judgment or expectation. Be present, and authenticity will follow. When you stop trying to be spontaneous and instead focus on simply being, you'll find that life naturally unfolds in beautiful, unexpected ways. Authenticity isn't something you achieve, it's something you uncover by trusting yourself and the moment you're in. The void as foundation. In a world filled with endless distractions, we often measure our worth by what we own, what we achieve, or how others perceive us. But beneath all of that lies a truth we rarely confront. Everything we cling to is temporary. This is where the concept of the void, of emptiness, becomes a profound foundation for freedom. Buddha taught that understanding emptiness liberates us from clinging to illusions. But emptiness isn't nothingness, it's pure potential. Think of a blank canvas. It isn't empty because it lacks art, it's full of infinite possibilities. Similarly, embracing the void within ourselves allows us to detach from material possessions and rigid identities, making space for growth, creativity, and true fulfillment. When we cling to things, whether they're objects, relationships, or even ideas, we blind ourselves to life's deeper meaning. Material attachments offer fleeting satisfaction, but over time, they lose their shine. Reflect on this truth. How many things you once thought you needed now sit forgotten? Recognizing this impermanence helps us loosen our grip on what doesn't truly matter. Start small. Reflect on impermanence by observing how objects or moments change with time. Maybe it's a gift you once treasured, or a once cherished memory that feels distant now. This isn't meant to create sadness, but to remind you of life's ever-changing nature. Meditation can also guide you toward understanding emptiness. Focus on your breath, not just the inhalations and exhalations, but the spaces in between. Those quiet, empty moments hold as much significance as the breath itself. They symbolize the void where life's potential resides. Decluttering your environment is another powerful step. By letting go of physical clutter, you create mental spaciousness. Each item you release is a step toward embracing emptiness, a reminder that you are not defined by what you own, but by the space you create for what truly matters. In emptiness lies infinite potential. When you stop fearing the void and start seeing it as a foundation, you free yourself from the illusions that hold you back. Emptiness isn't the absence of life, it's the essence of possibility. And in that space, you can find the freedom to be, to create, and to discover who you truly are. Rediscovering childlike wonder. As we grow older, life often feels predictable. We think we've seen it all, and our days become routines driven by habits and preconceived notions. But what if you could strip away those filters and experience life as a child does, bursting with curiosity, awe, and excitement? Rediscovering that sense of wonder isn't just about happiness, it's about finding meaning in the simplest moments. Zen philosophy calls this beginner's mind, a state of openness where you approach every moment as if encountering it for the first time. It's not about forgetting what you know, but setting aside preconceptions that dull your experience of life. Preconceptions limit joy, box in creativity, and keep us from seeing the beauty and possibility in the world around us. When was the last time you looked at the sky? Not just glanced, but truly noticed it. The way the clouds shift, the subtle changes in color. Wonder is the key to mindfulness, and mindfulness leads to gratitude. With gratitude, even the most mundane aspects of life can feel magical. Reigniting this wonder starts with small, intentional practices. Spend 5 minutes daily observing nature as if you've never seen it before. Look at a flower, noticing its texture, its vibrant color, how it bends in the wind. Allow yourself to be amazed by what you might have overlooked. Another way to cultivate curiosity is by trying something new each week. It doesn't have to be extravagant. Take a different route home, taste a dish you've never had, or learn a few words in a foreign language. Each new experience shifts your perspective and reminds you how much there is left to explore. Start questioning your everyday assumptions. Why do you see things the way you do? Why do you react in certain ways? Asking why can reveal layers of meaning and lead you to see the world with fresh eyes. The world becomes magical when you see it through the eyes of wonder. When you let go of the weight of knowing and embrace curiosity, life opens up in unexpected ways. Rediscovering childlike wonder doesn't mean escaping reality. It means connecting with it more deeply, seeing the extraordinary in the ordinary, and realizing that every moment has the potential to amaze. Impermanence. Life is constantly in motion. The people we love, the things we treasure, and the moments we hold dear, all are fleeting. Yet we often live as if everything will last forever, clinging tightly to what we know and resisting the flow of change. This resistance creates fear, anxiety, and suffering, trapping us in a cycle of denial and despair. Buddha's teachings on impermanence offer a different perspective. Change is never painful. Only resistance to change is painful. These words remind us that it's not the changes in life that hurt us, but our unwillingness to accept them. When we embrace impermanence, we free ourselves from this pain and open the door to resilience and gratitude. Clinging to permanence is like trying to hold water in your hands. It slips through your fingers no matter how tightly you grasp it. But when you release the need to control, you begin to appreciate the beauty of each moment for what it truly is: unique, irreplaceable, and temporary. Reflect on a moment of loss in your life. Maybe it was the end of a relationship, the passing of a loved one, or a missed opportunity. While the pain may have felt unbearable at first, what did that loss teach you? Did it show you the value of love, the strength you hold, or the fleeting nature of time? Loss, as painful as it is, often carries wisdom we can only see once we let go of resistance. Start practicing gratitude daily. Take a moment each day to acknowledge the people, experiences, and even challenges that make your life meaningful. Recognize that they are not forever, and let this realization deepen your appreciation for them. Let go of one possession or belief that no longer serves you. Whether it's an old item collecting dust or a mindset that holds you back, releasing it is an act of trust in life's flow. When you embrace change, you embrace life itself. Impermanence isn't something to fear, it's a reminder of life's preciousness. By accepting that everything is transient, you learn to live fully in the present, cherish what you have, and gracefully let go when it's time to move on. Simplicity in thought. Our minds are constantly at work, labeling, categorizing, and overanalyzing everything we encounter. But this endless complexity doesn't bring clarity. It creates confusion, stress, and a fog that distorts how we see the world. Simplicity, on the other hand, is a path to truth. When we strip away unnecessary layers, we begin to see life as it truly is. Buddha taught, when you see things as they are, without labels, you see the truth. Labels and habitual thinking patterns act like filters, coloring our perception with bias and assumptions. A flower isn't just beautiful or ordinary, it simply is. Its form, its presence, its connection to the earth. It's all there, waiting to be noticed without judgment. Simplicity in thought is about letting go of those filters and embracing life with clarity and mindfulness. Think about how complexity seeps into your life. A simple task turns into a mental debate. An emotion gets tangled in layers of overthinking. Complexity creates a false sense of control, but in reality, it only makes life harder. Simplicity, however, invites freedom. It allows your mind to rest, your heart to feel, and your spirit to connect with what truly matters. Start small. Spend 5 minutes observing something ordinary without labeling it. Maybe it's a cup of tea, a tree outside your window, or even your breath. Notice its form, its presence, and let it be. Resist the urge to name it or analyze it. This practice creates space for mindfulness and deeper understanding. Incorporate a daily mindfulness exercise that focuses on simplicity. For example, when eating, take one bite and savor it fully. Pay attention to the flavors, textures, and sensations without letting your mind wander. This simple act connects you to the present moment. Take a thought that's been occupying your mind and write it down. Then, question its assumptions. Is it as complex as you've made it seem, or is there a simpler truth underneath? Often, the clarity you seek is buried beneath layers of unnecessary complication. Clarity begins where complexity ends. Simplicity in thought isn't about avoiding challenges. It's about approaching life with a clear, open mind. When you embrace simplicity, you discover the profound truth hidden in life's most ordinary moments. Life as play. Life is not a puzzle to conquer, but a dance to experience. The Buddhist concept of lala, or divine play, teaches us to approach existence as an unfolding story, not as a battle to control every outcome. Imagine life as a river. It flows effortlessly, winding around obstacles without resistance. But how often do we fight against the current, clinging to rigid expectations or overanalyzing every moment? Taking life too seriously is like carrying an umbrella indoors. Unnecessary, counterproductive, and downright exhausting. Stress comes not from the flow of life itself, but from our insistence on shaping every wave. Playfulness, on the other hand, opens the heart and loosens the mind. It creates space for joy and reminds us that even the gravest of challenges carry lessons wrapped in humor. Think about a time you made a mistake. Now, imagine if you could laugh at it instead of letting it fester. That laughter, that lightheartedness, is where healing begins. What if you made play a part of your everyday life? Start small. Dedicate time each week to an activity that has no purpose but fun. An unstructured hour of painting, exploring nature, or dancing to your favorite song. Take a moment to laugh at your mistakes. Embrace them as comical notes in your personal symphony. Why not create a play ritual? Maybe it's a family game night where competition gives way to connection. Or perhaps it's as simple as a 5-minute dance break where you let your body move to the rhythm of life without inhibition. The most profound truths are often found in moments of play. This isn't just philosophy, it's a key to emotional freedom. Playfulness dismantles the walls we build around ourselves, the self-imposed pressures, the constant need to be perfect. It reminds us to let go and simply be. So, instead of resisting life, step into the dance. Remember, the beauty of play isn't in the outcome, but in the moment itself. Let your heart lighten, your mind expand, and your spirit flow freely. Life will thank you. Suspend judgments temporarily. We live in a world where judgments often come faster than understanding. A fleeting moment, a passing word, or a single glance can trigger preconceived labels that cloud our perception. But what if, even for a moment, you could suspend those judgments? The Buddhist practice of vipassana, or insight meditation, offers a profound lesson. See things as they are, not as your mind labels them. When you release judgment, life unfolds with a clarity that is both humbling and liberating. Judgments act like a fog. They obscure the truth, limit our growth, and bind us to old patterns. They are often born from fear, past experiences, or societal conditioning, creating a mental rigidity that keeps us stuck. Have you ever met someone and instantly categorized them as unkind, only to later discover a depth of compassion in their actions? Suspending judgment not only shifts how you see others, but also how you see yourself. It creates space for compassion and wisdom to flourish. What does this look like in practice? Start small. The next time you face a challenging situation, pause. Ask yourself, what if this is not as it seems? Imagine the possibilities that emerge when you free yourself from the need to define everything instantly. Take a moment each day to meditate on a person, situation, or emotion without forming an opinion. Just observe it. Feel its presence without attaching a label. And for a deeper exercise, write down one judgment you've made today. Reflect on it. Is it based on truth, or is it a projection of your own expectations or fears? Clarity emerges when judgment subsides. This isn't just a poetic sentiment, it's a gateway to freedom. By setting aside your labels and opening yourself to the raw essence of life, you dismantle barriers that separate you from understanding. You create the opportunity to see the beauty in imperfection, the potential in difficulty, and the humanity in others. So, let go of the need to define, categorize, or resist. In that space of openness, life reveals itself in ways you never imagined. Listening to inner guidance. In the chaos of daily life, it's easy to lose touch with the quiet, guiding voice within. External noise, the opinions of others, the relentless flow of media, the demands of society, pulls us in countless directions, leaving little room to hear our true selves. Yet the Buddhist teaching reminds us, peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. This profound wisdom underscores the importance of turning inward to find clarity and direction. True purpose isn't something we chase. It's something we uncover when we create space for stillness. When was the last time you truly listened to yourself? Often, the answers we seek are drowned out by the distractions we allow to dominate our attention. This external noise clouds our judgment and steers us away from our authentic path. But within each of us lies an inner compass, always ready to guide us if only we pause to listen. Inner stillness, achieved through deliberate quiet and introspection, acts like a clearing in the forest, revealing the trail that was hidden all along. To reconnect with this inner guidance, start with small, practical steps. Dedicate just 10 minutes each day to silent meditation. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. Let thoughts come and go without attachment, and notice the calm that begins to settle. Another powerful practice is journaling. Write freely about your thoughts, dreams, and emotions. You may uncover desires or insights that were buried beneath the surface. And perhaps most challenging, yet rewarding, spend an entire day free from media. No news, no social platforms, no distractions. Use this time to listen to your own thoughts and reflect on what truly matters to you. The quietest voice often carries the deepest truth. This truth doesn't shout or demand attention. It whispers in moments of stillness, offering guidance that aligns with your soul's purpose. When you create space to hear it, you'll find that your choices become clearer, your actions more purposeful, and your life more fulfilling. It's not about forcing clarity or chasing direction. It's about allowing them to emerge naturally from within. In this stillness, you'll come to realize that your inner guidance has been there all along, patiently waiting for you to listen. Let go of the noise, trust the quiet, and follow the wisdom that arises. It's here that life's true purpose begins to unfold. Mind as a wave, not a constant. Our thoughts often feel like an endless, uncontrollable storm, pulling us into patterns of overthinking, fear, or doubt. But in Buddhist philosophy, the mind is compared to a restless monkey, constantly jumping from one branch to another. The key to peace lies not in stopping these movements, but in observing them without attachment. Imagine your mind as an ocean. Thoughts rise and fall like waves, fleeting and impermanent. They may appear powerful in the moment, but they are never constant. This understanding can transform how you navigate emotions, reactions, and challenges in life. When we identify too strongly with our thoughts, we mistake them for absolute truths. A passing worry becomes a defining fear. A momentary frustration turns into an enduring grudge. This creates unnecessary suffering, chaining us to emotions that were meant to pass. But what if you could see your thoughts for what they truly are? Temporary visitors in the vast expanse of your consciousness. Observing them without clinging to their narratives fosters emotional resilience and clarity. How can you cultivate this perspective? Start by practicing thought labeling during meditation. When a thought arises, don't engage with it. Instead, label it: thinking, feeling, or worrying. This simple act creates a sense of detachment, reminding you that you are not your thoughts. Another powerful exercise is to visualize your mind as an ocean. Picture each thought as a wave. Some are small ripples, others towering crests, but all eventually dissolve back into the water. This imagery reinforces the transient nature of thoughts, helping you remain grounded amid mental turbulence. For a practical, day-to-day approach, start journaling about moments when you reacted impulsively to your thoughts. Write down what triggered the reaction and how it could have been different if you paused. Over time, this reflection will help you notice patterns and develop the habit of pausing before responding. Your thoughts are guests, not the masters of your mind. Like guests, they come and go. Some may overstay their welcome, but ultimately, they do not define the home they visit. By embracing this truth, you reclaim your inner space and find freedom from the cycles of emotional reactivity. You begin to experience life with a calm awareness that no storm is permanent, no wave eternal. Let the mind flow naturally, and in doing so, discover the peace that arises when you no longer force control over its rhythm. Embracing the mystery of existence. Life often confronts us with questions too vast for answers, mysteries too deep for logic. Why are we here? What is the nature of time, of consciousness, of existence itself? These are questions that, when faced with a need for certainty, can generate stress, fear, and even frustration. But what if the key isn't to solve these riddles, but to accept them? Buddhism teaches us that not knowing is not a weakness, it's a gateway to enlightenment. In embracing the mystery of existence, we find a profound sense of awe and humility that liberates us from the need to control everything. Our constant quest for certainty can feel like grasping at sand. It slips through our fingers, leaving us anxious and unfulfilled. Yet life, in its essence, was never meant to be fully understood. Some things, like the vastness of the universe or the depth of human emotion, defy explanation. When we allow ourselves to embrace this uncertainty, a sense of wonder begins to emerge. Instead of fearing the unknown, we start to marvel at it. The unanswered questions become invitations to explore, not problems to solve. To cultivate this mindset, start by spending time in nature. Stand beneath a star-filled sky or watch waves crash endlessly onto the shore. Let yourself feel small in the presence of something so vast, so timeless. Notice the intricate beauty of a flower or the effortless flight of a bird, and marvel at how these wonders exist without needing explanation. Another practice is to contemplate life's big questions without demanding immediate answers. Ask yourself, what is the meaning of life? Or what lies beyond time? Sit with these questions, letting them expand your perspective rather than confine it. Finally, reflect on the limits of human understanding. Think about how much of the universe lies beyond our grasp, how even science, our most powerful tool for understanding, acknowledges mysteries it cannot yet explain. This reflection cultivates humility, reminding us that life's value isn't in being solved, but in being lived. In embracing the unknown, we discover life's infinite beauty. The mystery of existence isn't something to fear. It's a gift that invites us to approach life with open hearts and curious minds. When we let go of the need for answers, we open ourselves to experiences far richer than anything certainty could ever offer. Life becomes not a problem to conquer, but a wonder to behold. Detaching from habit energy. Habit energy is a silent force in our lives, unseen yet profoundly influential. It's the autopilot mode that drives us to act out of routine rather than intention. These behaviors, shaped by past conditioning, may seem harmless at first, but over time, they create patterns that trap us. Thich Nhat Hanh describes mindfulness as the antidote. Mindfulness is the energy that brings us back to the present moment. By breaking free from habit energy, we reclaim the ability to live authentically and consciously in the here and now. Consider how often your day unfolds without deliberate thought. From checking your phone first thing in the morning to the way you react to stress, habits often dictate your actions. While habits can be useful, they can also become barriers, keeping you stuck in patterns that no longer serve you. But here's the empowering truth. The moment you become aware of a habit, you gain the power to interrupt it. Awareness offers freedom of choice. To begin detaching from habit energy, start by noticing your daily routines. Identify one habit that feels automatic and ask yourself, why do I do this? Does it align with who I want to be? Once you bring awareness to this habit, it loses its grip on you. Another effective practice is mindfulness. Whether it's eating, walking, or simply breathing, engage fully in the moment. Feel the texture of your food, the rhythm of your steps, or the flow of your breath. These mindful pauses break the cycle of autopilot living. Finally, set small reminders, a sticky note on your desk or a phone alarm, to pause and reflect during habitual actions. Even a brief moment of mindfulness can create space for intentional living. Freedom begins where habit ends. When you detach from automatic behaviors, you open yourself to the richness of life as it unfolds. You stop living in reaction to the past and start embracing the present with clarity and purpose. The art of living with flow. The essence of this journey is simple. Don't force anything. Flow with life, not against it. Non-attachment and adaptability release the burden of stress. Embracing impermanence and mystery allows for fresh perspectives. Listening to your inner guidance and practicing mindfulness empower you to live authentically. Reflect on one area of your life where you feel stuck or resistant. Ask yourself, what happens if I stop forcing and start flowing? Commit to practicing one key principle from this video for a week and journal your experiences. The river does not push its way to the sea. It flows naturally. Trust your journey and you'll arrive where you're meant to be. Like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Deep Wisdom for more insights on living a peaceful, mindful life.